The conference room smelled faintly of coffee and ozone from the humming projectors. It was the final presentation before the product launch. Rows of executives in dark suits, laptops open, faces lit by the white glow of the screen. Ella Tran stood near the back, holding her notebook close to her chest. She wasn't supposed to speak today. She was the intern, the quiet one who took notes, fetched data sheets, and slipped out before anyone noticed she'd been there. At the front of the room, Victor Hale, the lead engineer, gestured toward a diagram of the company's flagship robotics unit. "We've optimized the motion algorithm," he said, confident and sharp. "Our system learns twice as fast as the competition." Ella's eyes caught the screen, the same flawed sequence she'd quietly rewritten 2 weeks ago. She had emailed the correction to his assistant. No reply. She knew exactly what would happen when they ran that demo. But this was not her place. She had learned that the hard way. Her mind drifted just for a second to her father's garage. The smell of solder and oil, the way he used to hand her the smallest wrench with a grin. "Machines don't need you to shout," he used to say. "They'll tell you what's wrong if you listen." He had believed she'd finish her degree, work with engineers who respected her. Then came the illness, the debt, the quiet end of those plans. A sharp beep from the projector pulled her back. The robot on the display froze mid-motion. Its arm stuttered once, twice, then stopped. The investors shifted in their seats. Victor frowned. That shouldn't... The entire system crashed. The lights on the demonstration model blinked red. Someone muttered, "We should have tested it again." Another voice, dry and amused, said, "Maybe the intern can fix it." Laughter rippled across the table, soft, dismissive, the kind of laughter that bruises without leaving marks. Ella lowered her gaze, pretending to jot something down. Her throat burned. She wanted to explain, to tell them she had seen this coming. But she also knew how it would sound. The intern trying to correct the lead engineer in front of investors. Pride or survival? She stayed still. Victor barked instructions to his team. 2 senior engineers scrambled at their terminals, trying to restart the process. The CEO checked his watch. Time was bleeding away. The presentation, the one that would decide the company's next funding round, was slipping through their hands. Ella watched the chaos quietly, heart pounding. She could see exactly where the loop had failed. One misplaced condition, one forgotten line of code. Something she had already fixed, tucked neatly into a folder on her drive. Her fingertips twitched. She stepped back, almost against her will, until she was half hidden near the server rack. She opened her laptop, the one she wasn't supposed to bring to meetings, and mirrored the feed. Her eyes followed the error logs faster than thought. She typed the correction. A simple fix. The system stabilized. No one noticed. When Victor announced they would reschedule the demo, the disappointment was palpable. The investors stood, polite but distant. The meeting was over. Ella quietly saved her file, unplugged her laptop, and closed it. She caught her reflection in the glass wall, small, tired, invisible. As people filed out, Victor's voice echoed, strained. "Let's hope next time the system cooperates." Ella smiled faintly, though no one saw it. The system would cooperate, and it already was. She had saved it in silence. The correction was running now, unseen, correcting their failure in real time. She didn't want thanks. She wanted to belong. When the robot's arm lifted again, slow, steady, flawless, a few people turned back in surprise. Ella didn't. She was already walking toward the exit, her notebook pressed against her heart. Somewhere deep in the machinery, her code hummed, a quiet, steady rhythm that no one noticed yet. But soon they would. The next morning, the building felt different. The same scent of coffee lingered. The same polished floors reflected the city's gray light. Yet whispers drifted through every corner of the office. Something had happened overnight. Ella stepped off the elevator, badge trembling in her hand. Screens glowed along the open workspace, all showing the same message. System update successful. Performance optimized by 42%. Someone had uploaded a patch under the company network name, Anonymous. Untraceable. Victor Hale stood in the center of the lab, arms crossed, frowning at the terminal. "No one's admitting who made the change?" he asked. The engineers shook their heads. Their eyes flicked toward Ella and then away again, as if the thought was impossible. She kept her head down, quietly setting her notebook on her desk. Her hands were steady, but her heart wasn't. She hadn't meant for anyone to notice. She just couldn't bear to watch a failure she knew how to prevent. But now the whole department was buzzing about a ghost in the code. By noon, the CEO arrived, tall, composed, every step precise. His voice was calm, but sharp underneath. "Whoever fixed the system saved this company's reputation last night," he said. "And I intend to find out who." His gaze swept the room. "We don't punish initiative here. We reward it." No one spoke. The silence stretched. Victor cleared his throat. "Sir, we ran dozens of tests. None of us made that patch." Then quieter. "It's good work. Elegant." Ella's pulse quickened. For a moment, she almost raised her hand. But then the fear, of mockery, of being dismissed again, pressed her back into her chair. The meeting dispersed. Laughter resumed. The world kept turning. That afternoon, she was assigned to shadow the engineers as they prepared for the rescheduled investor demo. Victor, surprisingly, asked her to stay in the control booth. "In case something goes wrong," he said, eyes unreadable. When the presentation began, the investors filled the same seats as before, their suits crisp, expressions skeptical. The lights dimmed. The robotic arm on the stage gleamed like polished bone under the spotlights. Victor began the introduction. "Yesterday, we encountered an unexpected system failure." He paused, scanning the audience. "Today, we present something better, a result of unseen talent within this team." He looked up at the glass booth where Ella stood, her breath caught. He gestured subtly, a nod only she could see. "Our intern has been working behind the scenes, refining the system's logic. Miss Tran, would you mind showing our guests what your algorithm can do?" Every head turned toward the booth. For a second, the room tilted, the air too thin, her hands too cold. Then she exhaled and moved to the console. The hum of the system filled the silence. Her fingers moved over the keys like memory. She initiated the sequence. The robot came to life, smoother than ever. Each motion precise, graceful, almost human. The audience leaned forward. Cameras clicked. When it completed the final maneuver, lifting a fragile glass sphere and setting it down without a sound, the room erupted in applause. Victor smiled, not the smug grin from before, but something quieter, almost proud. The CEO stood. "Miss Tran," he said, his voice carrying across the hall, "I believe we owe you an apology. And an offer." Ella looked down through the glass. Dozens of faces turned upward, waiting. She spoke softly into the mic, her voice trembling but clear. "It wasn't about the title," she said. "I just wanted the work to be right." The applause deepened. Genuine this time, not polite. Later, as the crowd dispersed and the lights dimmed, Victor approached her by the control booth. "You should have told us," he said. "I tried," she replied, almost smiling. He nodded slowly. "Then I should have listened." They stood in silence, the hum of the machine steady and low, like a heartbeat shared between them. When Ella left the building that night, the rain had stopped. The glass facade reflected her as she passed, no longer small, no longer invisible. Across the street, a maintenance drone glided under a street lamp. Its motion fluid, alive, powered by the same code she'd written in secret. It moved with quiet precision, her quiet precision. And for the first time in a long while, Ella smiled. The city lights shimmered against the wet pavement, and in their reflection, she finally saw what she had built. Not just a working system, but her own place within it.